So I got these steaks from Kroger for 40 bucks. They look pretty good. If you can tell, they have really good marbling. See there, I got lucky. And these actually have crazy marbling, which basically just means that there's a bunch of little pieces of fat intertwined within all the lean parts here in the middle. So I'm just gonna rip this open and start seasoning. So So now that these are dry, what I can go ahead and do is start seasoning them. So I like to keep it simple. I just salt, pepper. I know people like to, go fancy and make rubs and things like that, compound butters, but I don't know, that just takes too much time. And usually you're not gonna have a couple hours to focus on making a perfect steak. So what I'm gonna do is just season some kosher salt, season it generously so that all that salt escapes deep into the steak. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically dry brining it, which essentially means that all the salt that I'm putting in now is gonna go deep into the steak and bring out all the moisture that lies naturally within the meat, within the muscle fibers. So that way when I'm ready to cook in a couple hours, it'll be all nice and juicy at the surface. Here comes the pepper. Okay, my situation is really scuffed. I have like a horrible pepper grinder, whatever this thing is called. So hopefully you have some better equipment than I do, but you can still make the best of it. So, as you can see, it's very generously seasoned here. And you may think that, oh, well, it's way too seasoned, it's gonna be so salty. It's actually not, because all of that moisture is going to be brought out and the salt is going to go inside the meat itself. Of course, we got to get the size of that salt, get all the size of the salt, flip it over, the same with the other, just so that we can get that good seasoned taste. Now we got to do the other side. For us to actually eat. Obviously it's not good for you and you might die of a heart attack, but you probably won't, and it tastes really good. So alright, now that these are done seasoning, I'm just gonna put them in the fridge for the next 2 hours. Should be overnight, but I just got these, and then I'll grill them up later. Alright, so now I'm gonna preheat the oven to 250 degrees. Oh crap. Oh my. There we go. Let's start. So basically what I'm doing here is a reverse sear. So I'm gonna get my steaks out. So here are the steaks right now, and we're gonna put them in the oven so that they can cook fully, and then we're gonna sear it after. They're cooked to a perfect medium rare. Alright, so I've got the steaks now. I've got the butter. I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so I got butter. I got the grill. I'm gonna fire up the grill now. Turn it on. Hope it works. Okay. How is that? Okay. I'm actually praying this works. Okay, thank goodness. You want to get it as hot as possible, obviously. As that's heating up, I'm gonna place my butter at the top right here, on top of the grill, so that it begins to melt. So this is what the steak looks like after about an hour. Grill it up. I got my instant read thermometer. I don't know why this thing is not focusing. Yeah, anyway, it's something like that. So I started the grill, and it should be good to go in about 10-ish minutes. Of course, I'm letting these steaks right here rest. They look pretty good. I think they're still they're very close to being medium rare. I just need to, get that final sear off, and then we should be good. So, see you in 10 minutes. Alright, so since I'm only using 2 burners, it's at around 400 something degrees, which is hopefully hot enough to serve our purposes. Looks really moist. So, got it. Don't like that. Ow, I just burned my hand. Okay. This one too. Okay, why is it so moist on the bottom? I don't know. But then close the lid. Actually, yeah, I'll close the lid. So I went inside and I cleaned this thing right here again, just so that I could use it again. And so what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna wait for this to go on for another, let me check. It's at 400 right now, another 40 seconds-ish. Open it up now, see what it looks like. It smells good, that's for sure. Alright, just looks the same. What I should have done is probably flatten it, but these steaks are so big, they're just gonna fall on their own. They're gonna be flat on their own. So, hoping we get a good sear. Like I said before, for some reason they were moist, which is not a good sign. Because what that moisture does is it's gonna boil, which actually prevents that sort of dry crust that you want on a steak like this. So I guess I'll just have to pray and hope that I don't embarrass myself. Okay. So I'm just gonna check, kind of take a peek. Alright, it looks good. So I'll give it a diamond, just like that. Give this one a diamond too. Flatten it down this time. Of course, I'll have to render off that fat later. These fat edges, you want to render them down. Close the lid. Another couple minutes. So 3 worked last time, so we'll do 3 again. Alright, so I heard it acting up a lot while the lid was closed, so I'm gonna take a quick peek again at what it looks like. Okay, so it still feels like it's medium rare. Now, of course, after I take it off, it's still going to be cooking, so I want to take it off a little before 130 or 135 or whatever temperature I'm going for. In this case, I want to get one that's medium rare for myself and my dad, and the women like it a little more well done for whatever reason. So I'll have to accommodate for that as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and flip it. Yep. Alright, so we got a good crust right there. Just gonna flip it again, just like that. push down. And for this one, I think I'm just gonna render off that fat a little bit, render off the fat cap. It's gonna give me that good juice that I need to make it taste good. Alright, so now that the fat is rendered, flip it over, push it down. It still feels pretty tender. Just let it sit for another couple minutes. Now what I'm going to start doing is covering it in butter, because that's what makes steak taste good. Oh shoot. So just going to pour some butter over it. Unfortunately I did not have ghee, which I highly recommend over just regular butter, because it's clarified, it's healthier for you, and it just tastes a lot better. So, okay. I'm just gonna play it by touch. So I learned this from Gordon Ramsay, but essentially when you hold your hand out like this and you sort of feel this area, this is how tender a rare would be. This is how tender a medium rare would be. This is how tender a medium would be, and this is how tender a medium well would be. So if you actually do this yourself, you can feel the muscle here become more and more tight as you get further away from it. So you can sort of use that test to figure out how done your steaks are. Now, for some reason, this is scaring me. It feels like it's really well done already, even though it shouldn't be. So I'm going to pull out the thermometer, stick it through. Okay. Wait a minute, that's wrong. Give it a second. Pull that off for now. So we gotta render the fat cap still.